Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, Book 1, Topic 1. From my grandfather, Vero, good character and serenity. From the reputation and memory bequeathed by my progenitor, a discreet and virile character. From my mother, respect for the gods, generosity and abstention not only from doing evil, but also from having such thoughts. In addition, frugality in lifestyle and detachment from the typical lifestyle of the rich. From my great-grandfather, not having attended public schools and having been educated by good teachers at home, and understanding that for such purposes it is necessary to spend generously. From my tutor, not having been of the green or blue faction, nor a supporter of the Parinularians or the Scutari, enduring hardships and having few needs, working with personal effort and abstaining from excessive tasks, and having an unfavorable reception to slander. From Diognetus, avoiding useless occupations, to distrust what miracle workers and sorcerers say about enchantments and the invocation of spirits and other similar practices, not to dedicate oneself to raising quails, nor to have a passion for such things, to endure frank conversations and to become familiar with philosophy, to have listened first to Bacchus, then to Tandisis and Marcion, to have written dialogues in childhood, and to have desired a bed covered with animal skin, and all the other practices connected with Hellenic education. From Rustico, having conceived the idea of the need to straighten and cultivate my character, not deviating to sophistical emulation, nor writing theoretical treatises, nor reciting exhortatory speeches, nor pretending to be an ascetic or philanthropist with ostentatious demonstrations, and having distanced myself from rhetoric, poetics, and courtly refinement, and not walking around the house in a toga, nor doing other similar things. Also, writing letters in a simple manner like those he himself wrote. From Sinuessa to my mother, being willing to accept with indulgence the appeal and reconciliation with those who have offended and troubled us as soon as they wish to retract, reading accurately, not being content with global considerations, and not readily giving my assent to charlatans, having come into contact with the memorabilia of Epictetus, of which he gave me a copy. From Apollonius, freedom of judgment and firm decision-making, without hesitation or fortuitous recourse, directing one's gaze only to reason, not for a brief instant, remaining always unwavering in acute pain, in the loss of a child, in prolonged illnesses, having clearly seen in a living example that the same person can be very rigorous and, at the same time, carefree, not demonstrating an irascible character in explanations, having seen a man who clearly considered experience and diligence in the transmission of theoretical explanations as the least of his qualities, having learned to accept the apparent favors of friends without being bribed by them or rejecting them tactlessly. Sixth, benevolence, the example of a patriarchally governed family, the project of living in harmony with nature, dignity without affectation, attentiveness to friends, tolerance for the ignorant and those who opine without reflection, harmony with all, so that his treatment was more agreeable than any flattery, and they had for him at that very moment the utmost respect, the ability to discover, with an inductive and orderly method, the principles necessary for life, never having given the impression of anger or any other passion, being, on the contrary, the least affected by passions and, at the same time, the one who most intimately loved men. Praise, without stridency, multifaceted knowledge, without ostentation. From Alexander the Grammarian, aversion to criticism. Do not reprimand with insults those who have uttered a barbarity, a solecism, or a mispronounced sound, but skillfully proclaim the precise term that should have been pronounced, in the form of a reply or ratification or a common consideration of the matter itself, not of the grammatical expression or by means of any other occasional and appropriate suggestion.